Everyone. My name is Mackenzie Wolf, and this is my coworker Lena. We are the ERSEA specialists at MACA. I've been with MACA for about 9 months in the ERSEA role, and Lena's been here for about 6 years. So I'm still learning, and Lena is the pro, but together we'll be able to give you hopefully a good overview of what ERSEA does. So this recording is in lieu of the virtual meeting that we were going to have for Policy Council the other evening. So it's just going to be a little training about ERSEA and what we do. So as you can see on this slide, ERSEA stands for eligibility, recruitment, selection, enrollment, and attendance, which are all parts of our job and what we do.
Our process is ongoing, which means that we accept applications year-round. We are currently working on our 22-23 school year and also this current school year, 21-22 school year as well. So we accept applications and we enroll kids until the classroom is full, and we accept application until the last day of school as well. So this is an ongoing process.
And this is just a general overview of our application process. So our applications are submitted through gotogrow.com, which is a coordinated enrollment process. So essentially, instead of parents having to fill out applications for any program they might be interested, they just fill out one application and then it goes to the different programs that they select. So for example, a 4-year-old child could apply for MACA's program as well as the county program that they live in. So once the application is submitted, the Go to Grow navigator who works for United Way processes the application and then forwards it to the program that they're applying for. So that's when we get our hands on the application. So then we review it. We look over all the information that the family submitted. We look at the income and we have to calculate it to determine the percent of the federal poverty level that the family is at. And we also calculate eligibility points based on an eligibility survey that the family submits with their application. And we'll go over more of that later as well. So then sometimes information is missing. So we reach out to the family if they don't have income submitted and request that. After we have everything complete, we call the family to do an eligibility interview and just make sure we have everything correct for the application. So after that's all complete and verified, we have a list of kids that we are selecting from. So every year we get a couple hundred applications that we have to go through. Some of the kids are placed on the waiting list if they're over income. And then some of the kids are selected to enroll in our program. If the family has applied for more than one program, then we meet with that program to talk about the best fit for the family. And we call the family with the other program to talk about what each program offers, and then the family can select the program. So after we go over all that and choose which families we're going to select based on the income and the risk factors, we start the enrollment process once the family accepts the slot. And that's with our family support coordinators. They are awesome and they reach out to the families to do an enrollment meeting and go over all the enrollment paperwork.
Here are our eligibility requirements. First, we look at age to make sure that the child is 3 years old by September 30th or 4 before September 30th. So age is a big factor before even processing an application. Second, we look at if the family receives any public assistance, such as TANF or SSI, if the child is homeless, in foster care or kinship care, or if the family's income is below the poverty guidelines. So that's something that is our main focus, to make sure that one, age, and two, if they're categorically eligible to be in our Head Start program.
So in addition to the families that Lena just discussed, the families who are categorically eligible or under 100% of the federal poverty level, each school year we're also able to enroll up to 35% of median income families. So those are families between 101 and 130% of the federal poverty level, and up to 10% of over income families. So families over 130% of the federal poverty level. In addition, we're also required to have 10% of our enrolled students have a diagnosed disability. So we don't have exactly 35% of our enrolled students be median income. First, it's prioritized by, the income and the eligibility points. So we accept median income families when there are no children available to accept who are under 100% or categorically eligible. So first we look for those categorically eligible under 100%, and then we move up to median and over. And Child Plus, which is the database we use, we're able to pull reports that prioritize based on those things. So once we input everything in the system, it's pretty straightforward to pull based on those things and see who is the highest need, who we should accept.
Right here, we have laid out our poverty guidelines for the year 2022. And this income is put into our system, Child Plus. So it calculates based on the family size, how much they will have to make below how much they need to make. To verify their income, we ask families to submit tax forms of the past year. So for this current school year, we're asking for 2020. For the following school year, we'll be asking for 2021. The same with W-2s. Pay stubs have to be consecutive. If the family gets paid weekly, we ask for 4 pay stubs, bi-weekly 3, in monthly 2 pay stubs. For those parents that are self-employed, we ask for letters. They just have to write a statement saying how many hours they work a week and how much an hour. If the parent just started a new job, we ask for a letter from the employer, and the same thing, just the number of hours and how much an hour. And those families who are receiving public assistance, we just need to verify that they are receiving SSI or TANF. And we do, in some occasions, have a lot of families that are financially supported by someone else. And that's where the letter of support comes in place. Whoever is financially supporting the family just has to write a statement that says, I so-and-so am financially supporting the family. So this will be the supporting documents that we attach to the application, and when we verify the income and do the calculations.
So this is the eligibility verification form that we're required to keep on file for each student. So as you can see, or maybe not see because it's a little small, but we're going to send this out as an attachment as well so that you can go over this. But this is where we write, all of those eligibility points that apply for that family, and they're added up. We also write what income documentation they use, the annual total income. And this used to be on paper, but currently it's in Child Plus, which is really nice. So we have an electronic record of this for every family who we've accepted and enrolled in the program. And for example, this is what we use when we get like audited or something. Like the other week, we had a federal audit where we had to report and prove what income category the families that we accepted were in. So this is important that we keep for every family.
Our effort to recruit, we are working with Go to Grow, and they're the ones who are doing most of our recruitment. But we post everything on social media. We have posters at the schools, DSS, local offices, medical offices, church, radio station, newspaper. The ERSEA team sends out text messages as well to the parents to let them know to apply. And if they know anybody that is eligible, age eligible to apply, Go to Grow has partner with Write by Text, which they're sending information out. We have our updated flyer for next school year that is being posted everywhere in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. Also, we will be going out in Fluvanna, Louisa, and Nelson County to post the flyers. Yard signs are being put at every elementary school, so parents, when they go and pick up or drop off, they can see that our application is now available, and they're welcome to apply for younger siblings. And there is the mailing application option for whoever just wants to apply on a piece of paper. We understand that not everybody can go online or know how to apply online, so the paper application is available for those who are in need of one.
So this is just an example of the report that we use from Child Plus to select students for the program. So as you can see, it's prioritized by eligibility points. So the higher the eligibility points, the more risk factors that family may have, meaning that we would want to make them a priority and try to accept them if possible. You can also see their income status is listed, whether it's a foster family, income eligible, the family's homeless. It also lists the age and, language and things like that. So this is what we look at when we make our selections, and then we fill up our classrooms based on this.
Enrollment. We work with the family support coordinators to complete the enrollment process. And the enrollment is where the parents fill out the enrollment packet with the family support coordinators. They go through the information that is in the system, request help documents, custody orders, anything that can help us to enroll the child. But this is mainly the work of the family support coordinators, which we link them to the family. We sent them the list of kids that we have recently accepted, and they just connect with the family and schedule an enrollment appointment. Our funded enrollment currently is 213, which this is something that we have to report monthly to the Office of Head Start. So we do use a report in Child Plus to send how many students we have currently enrolled. Even the kids who have attended at least one day of school have to be included in that list. The program must maintain its funded enrollment level and fill any vacancy as soon as possible, which we have 30 days to do so. This current school year and last school year, we heard from the Office of Head Start that we do not need to meet our 213 based on what's going on with COVID, and around 80% of the Head Start programs are lacking of the funding enrollment. So right now, that is not the main priority. It's more focusing on how we can help the families who is in need. But in the future, we will just go back into reporting the 213 that we are funded.
And attendance is our last letter in our ERSEA acronym. So attendance is something that the teachers track in the classroom. So of course, every day when a student is there, they mark that they're there, or if they were late, or if they were tardy. So it pulls in Child Plus, just like anything else. We're able to pull the reports to see if a student may be having issues with attendance. So the teachers and the family support coordinators work together to support a family if they're having issues with attendance. So for example, maybe a parent is having issues with transportation, or they need after school care. So that's where the family support coordinators come into play, where they can help support that family when they're struggling with getting their child to school. So a big reason of why we're doing this presentation is because each year Policy Council is responsible for looking at the eligibility points for the upcoming school year and determining if those are the points that they want to use. So we went over this a little bit earlier, but the points are based on like various risk factors, like if it's a single parent household, if there's been a recent death of a parent, or if the child has a disability, things like that. So you can look at the attached document to see the current eligibility points. And next meeting, we're actually going to go over the points that we want to be given for the 22-23 school year. So if you could please come ready with like feedback and ideas on the eligibility points. If you think any of the current points should be given more or less points, if you want to add more, I had a couple ideas about adding different categories. Maybe if a sibling has a disability, or if a parent had recently gone through a divorce or separation. Those are listed on this slide here. But we definitely want your feedback on this. It's kind of where we want to hear your voice and be able to take your feedback into account. So next meeting, please come ready to vote and go over these things. And if you have any questions on the next slide, our contact information is listed. I know this was a lot of information. So if you have any questions about anything we went over, any of the current eligibility points, or what we're going to be voting on next meeting, please feel free to reach out to us. Our email addresses are listed, but if you want to get in touch with us by email, we could always give you a call, whatever works best for you. And we did include some links for further resources if you want to look into ERSEA more on your own. So there's information online in the first link. And then we also included the poverty guidelines, as well as the eligibility verification form that we used. So thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions.
Thank you.